So Claire, you can start.
Okay, so we spoke to Indra Mohan, not in front of the group actually. We got her just outside, and it was you really who asked her, what happens if you're in a relationship with somebody who's not on the same path as you, as in on the yoga path? So
spiritual path.
Absolutely spiritual path. And Haley did mention things about, the food, the drinks, the things they watch on TV,
the violence, the news,
all those things that through your relationship, I guess you're having that sort of input coming into your life through the fact that you're in a relationship with this other person, whereas perhaps if you were on your own, you might not choose those things for yourself. You might be able to have a more pure life, more sattvic life, I guess. Yeah. And Indra said, go on.
Yeah, so the reason why I really wanted to ask her this question was because there's so many students that come to our classes that, that talk about the struggles, and there's so many teachers as well. Like we all sort of, a lot of yoga teachers have partners who aren't on the same path. Okay, so...
And that would be the case for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Indra said that she was very, very aware of this, and that she's been speaking to Western women now for 40 years, one-on-one. So, and she's in her late 70s. And she said the main thing she tells people is, and it's mostly women in this situation, is as long as you have a supportive partner, try not to rock the boat too much. And I did explain about the difficulties and the challenges by not having somebody on the same path, and she was very, very aware of this, and said that we need a stable path, we need stability in our life to walk the path. It's very important.
She pretty well said that if you have somebody who is supporting you while you are on your path and just giving you all the support that they can, you're very, very lucky. You're extremely lucky, you're extremely blessed, because, you've got that support behind you, and it's from that supportive base that you can grow. And she sort of said a big part about yoga is acceptance as well. Acceptance. And accepting that it's not possible to change our partners, but it's possible to change ourselves. And we can look at all the different views. And I really, really like this. I thought this was fantastic. The mind is always looking for something else outside. It's always looking for something better, always looking for change. And that just makes a lot of sense. Instead of actually focusing on what we can do, doing the practice, meditating each day, it's kind of easier just to look at all the reasons that are challenging us, all the reasons why we can't. The mind's always going external from us, and we bring it back to, well, we've got support. We might not have them holding our hand, doing it with us. I sort of lost my train of thought then, but there was something I was thinking of to say, and then I've lost it.
And just let me know when you want to mention something. I can go through my notes, just stop me when you need to. So we really do need the stability on this path to develop acceptance and to be very grateful. Being on this path is a very great blessing, and it's very important, and that Indra said we should be very grateful for this, that we are actually wanting to walk on this path. Everyone born as a human, it's their dharma to follow yoga. The ultimate goal to attain a state of peace and calm. The peace is already there, inside of all of us. We can reach this only through effort. So consider it a blessing. And she did mention that breaking relationships is really not easy at all. There's no guarantee, and I know she spoke to us about this personally as well as to the whole group, that if people do break a relationship, there's no guarantee that you're going to have stability, or that your situation is, you're going to be better off, you're actually going to be happier.
Absolutely.
And I think it was.
I wasn't thinking about breaking a relationship.
No, either was I. No, but we're just talking
no, we're
about
just talking about the other side. Yeah.
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 Yeah, like we're talking about sort of all the situations, and this is far beyond us.
Yeah.
It's you know a lot of yogis on the path. So when things are working well, try not to rock the boat. It's possible to make relationships better by working on ourselves. So okay,
yes.
go.
Yes. I said to her, do you think that perhaps it could be the case that we could be choosing a partner who is not on the yogic path? Because to be on the yoga path, you're looking at the higher self. Now it might be that subconsciously
striving to be the higher self.
Yeah. But subconsciously, you're choosing a partner who possibly does things that your lower self wants to do. So therefore, you've got your excuse for not. I guess it's self-sabotage in a way. And to that she answered, look around in the West, how many enlightened men do you find around the place? What percentage do you think? Not that high, you know. So therefore,
the ability to be able to spot them is another thing.
Oh, it would be, yeah. But I would say that, you know, I just think it's very important to you know, if you were to be that shining light for your partner, be that person who's making things better all the time, then eventually it may or may not, and does it matter, have an effect on them, and they may follow the same path, but it's not necessary that they do. Not at all.
Yes, and when I say we, talking collectively here, it's not just Claire and I. So, and we spoke about with Indra, what if we left our partners and tried to find somebody who was more in line with a higher self? And it was really good the way she put it. And she said, if you haven't done the work, if you haven't done the practice, you can't find somebody who is your higher self, because you're not going to be attractive to someone who's done the work and you haven't, if you're still operating, you know, in the lower self. You have to do the work to be able to find that. That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it does. Yeah. So really just be very grateful for what you have.
And it was
certainly made me feel a lot more grateful for what I have.
And it was beautiful, sorry.
No, that's fine.
And we did mention in our earlier video, the fundamental cause of a disturbed mind is expectations. And I think it was really great the way she told all of us that if we have expectations of any kind with our partners, there creates quite a bit of tension. And there creates quite a bit of discomfort. And if the expectations are just let go, then that kind of brings a real sense of ease into relationships. And this is relationships, it's not necessarily a partner. It can be just other people, family, friends in our lives as well that have a lot to do with us.
Yeah.
And it just creates that, it just lets everything settle and things just gradually sort of flow a little better.
Yeah, it can make the relationships more spacious, more comfortable.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And for people who are perhaps considering moving on, the advice was don't be in a hurry to make the next step. Clarity requires time. And something else that we were reminded of as well is any big decisions we make in our life, try and only make decisions with a really clear, calm, silent mind, because that's when we're less likely to make regrets.
So therefore, meditate on it.
A mind in confusion or stress makes decisions that are wrong. Time can bring about change, which leads me to my realisation. But you go first.
What realisation?
Well, the discussion that we had with a few people was that quite a few partners, and this can be men and women, but I guess sort of mainly men in our circle of conversations, was that there's quite a few men that won't believe anything they can't see with their own two eyes.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't see it with their own two eyes, they don't believe it. They don't believe it. And this is something that I guess men, they can't see this meditation. They have trouble because the word God, this is just my take, the word God can be quite a confusing one. So the Mohans did actually just use the word divine, and they said whether you believe in God, whatever, they just call it the divine. Okay, relationship with the divine. And the divine can mean anything. It can mean the higher power. It can just mean the universe. It can mean whatever you want it to be. There's kind of just takes that pressure away by not using the word God, just use the word divine.
Creator?
Yeah, creator.
Mm.
Some people perhaps just believe in the planets and the stars, and that's fine.
And that was fine with the Mohans.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
So my advice is, to all of the women out there who have partners who aren't believers, think of it this way: if they only believe what they see with their own two eyes, if we do the work, if we do the practice every day, the asana purely, like the yoga aspect of asana, traditionally is just to really keep the body in good health, so we're able to sit for a long time in meditation to really calm the mind. If we show up every day on our mat and do our meditation practice, the partners are going to be able to see with their own eyes the benefits.
Yeah.
And there we go.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And they will gain, they will gain a more peaceful, harmonious partner. Even if they don't do it themselves, they'll gain.
We had a really lovely doctor, a medical doctor, who came along for the 5 days, and his wife started studying yoga. She was also a medical professional working with very sick children who didn't make it. These children were very ill and didn't make it. And she'd been studying and teaching for about 4 years now, and he was blown away at the changes that he saw in his wife and her ability to just be okay and not come home, I guess, really emotional and upset. She actually found a balance and could deal with that. And this for him was enough, and he was on that yoga retreat.
Yeah.
It was really great to hear.
And he came to the yoga retreat, not expecting to be quite as taken with everything that, he really felt like he got an awful lot from it, didn't he?
Yeah. So I hope you found that helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.